We are bringing a moral discussion into a space that is not a moral space. It's a public health issue. It's a health issue. Umuntu needs to access a service, and they should be able to do so. Bafundisa abashumayeli by all means. But bangawusuki sonene nekushumayeleni noma community beteke health facility batokipha ama clients ukuthi angakhona access service esibhedlela. Sikhulumisa nyalo ema issues ukuthi bantu nabafika esibhedlela bafuna service. They should be able to get it. And that's not space emfundisi. Honestly, it's not. Same place with cultural things. In Minega, that's where the moral thing comes in for me. Why is it better for us as a country to watch people dying than it is for us to allow them to have choice?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome to our special episode of Salty Mike Podcast. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing, guys. We're very, very happy to have you around. Today is a very special edition. And of course, I'm not alone. I'm here with my boy, Machaka, my brother. Exactly. How are you doing today?
Gentleman's Club.
The whole time. I'm far today. Yeah. No. Of course, that's Hambi Swat. Today, actually, we're commemorating English. We're commemorating it's International Safe Abortion Day. So we're at SAfAIDS in Manzini with two very beautiful ladies who go by the name Khumalo and Mandisa Zwane. Was it Mandisa? Machakata ni Zwane?
Mandisa Zwane Machakata.
Zwane Machakata. Ah, cool. Yeah. So today, we're here. It's all about the My Choice, Our Choice campaign, right?
Yes.
Yeah, which is My Choice MCOC. Yes. So yeah, that's what we're about today, guys. It's something that's very, very serious and touches quite a lot of people's lives.
Of course.
Children, especially the children, especially the youth. The youth and of course the most delicate people, especially in the world, women.
Yeah. You know what? I'm so excited about Gubanare episode because you know what we are about at Salty Mike. Is to touch topics that we know good ayendega, but no one is confident on how to address.
Yeah.
So what we do, we bring them up, we have a discussion, and I hope we have a good one today.
Definitely. Exactly. So this is an open wound that we're putting salt on.
Putting salt on open wounds.
Yeah, on all open wounds. So yeah, guys, in as much as I've introduced you, if you don't mind, please do introduce yourself. I'll start with you.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Khumalo. I work for SAfAIDS as an HYW leader, that is adolescent girls and young women. Okay. We advocate for issues that touch base on women's health, also menstrual health and hygiene, but I think we're going to discuss more as we continue with the podcast.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And you are?
Miss Machakata.
Yeah.
I like her surname, the whole. Why one Lota?
Because Mrs. Machaka.
Why Lota?
I lost task. I'm clean.
I think about a typo by the date secretary because and then one get that type and then
I'm Mandisa Zwane Machakata. I'm the SAfAIDS Eswatini country office country representative.
Okay.
The whole country.
The whole country.
Yeah.
Well, the country
from
office.
Lavumiso to Mavuso.
From Lavumiso to Mavuso, but mostly just the office.
Office one. We don't like humble people here.
Being modest.
You brag. You brag. Tarana from Lavumiso to Mavuso.
Okay.
SAfAIDS.
It's represented
representative.
By oh my God, that sounds like a lot, but yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Anyways, please tell us about SAfAIDS. What is SAfAIDS about? When did it start? And like, what's your organizational mandate, Nje, as SAfAIDS, so people can really get to know about it?
All right, SAfAIDS is a regional NGO, which has its headquarters in Zimbabwe, Harare, and it has country offices in several countries, including Eswatini. in Eswatini, we legally registered in 2011, but before that we were working a bit to just generate information. When SAfAIDS started, it was mostly an information generation and dissemination organization where we would gather information, because HIV was really, really bad throughout Africa. And our work mostly is in the SADC region, because we know that's the area that was hardest hit by HIV.
Okay.
So SAfAIDS was mostly working in the area of prevention of HIV by disseminating information. We would gather information on, how we as Africans can come up with African solutions to prevent the spread of HIV, how we can deal with the social and economical issues that are contributing to the HIV becoming worse in our region, because we know HIV was hard across the world, but our region was hardest hit because most of the drivers were focused on us. We have high gender inequality, we have high poverty, we had issues with intergenerational communication and just sharing of information, and then also because of our strong cultural and religious position, we found what's information that we were giving to our young people wasn't empowering them enough. So SAfAIDS came in at that point to say, when people know better, they do better. So that's why our tagline is knowledge for action, the power to make a difference.
Wait,
knowledge for action.
The power to make a difference.
Careful.
Those two people, baboons. Anyway, they say today is the International Safe Abortion Day. And you guys, the reason we came here is that you are rolling out a campaign called My Choice, Our Choice. MCOC campaign.
MCOC, yeah. Sounds like a name of a
I was
song.
going to butcher that. I want to sing how proud of myself.
Because you got MCOC right.
MCOC. Okay, so what is the purpose of this initiative?
SAfAIDS, our mandate mostly is to empower the people of Africa, but in particular of our region, Southern Africa, for them to be able to deal with the development challenges that we're facing, mostly in terms of health, in terms of social justice and gender equality, in terms of gender-based violence. The MCOC campaign is a campaign that seeks to empower the people of our region to be able to speak to the truth to power, which is what we say advocacy is. Basically speaking, the truth to power would say people are dying. Girls are dying in back rooms. Girls are losing their fertility late because they had a backstreet abortion and they only go to the facility. Now it's so complicated because basaba stigma. Girls are losing their lives. Girls are being disabled as a result of unsafe abortion. And instead of our laws and our policies and our budgets speaking to that issue, we continue to criminalize and say, stop it. And yet we know what it's not stopping. So this campaign wants to shed light to say it hasn't stopped. It won't stop by us making stricter laws. What needs to happen is we need to engage with people and find more solutions that will actually be sustainable to save lives, because the discussion on safe abortion is not a moral or social discussion
at all.
It's a public health discussion on how can we save the lives of girls.
So man, what I just want to know from what he's saying, I just want, as a layman, someone out there who has no idea about this, what is the official position of the country regarding abortion? In
terms of our constitution, abortion in Eswatini city is restricted. So it is restricted because it's allowable under certain conditions. Where, for example, it's allowable in our country, where there's a risk to the mother or the child, then there can be termination now. And that one is determined by the health worker and the doctor. Now, okay, now they don't do something, they're going to lose the mother, then they can terminate a pregnancy. It's also allowed where the pregnancy is a result of rape or incest. It's also allowed where there's a great risk or where there's physical or mental disability of the mother, and then also in cases where there's a great risk of physical or mental disability of the child. However, even though we're restricted and allowable within those conditions, we are finding what the truth on the ground is people are still not able to access, even level who are allowed in terms of the constitution, because the process is to get to a point where it's okay, now we can terminate. are lengthy and are complicated.
And by the time you get there,
Pregnancy say advanced too far.
I wanted to ask this question. You said it could be allowed if there was incest. So if for that to take place, does the mother or the female in this position apply? Say, okay, this was a result of incest, so therefore I'm applying for abortion.
Yes.
Or I wanted to ask if maybe if there was an investigation and the law said, okay, you guys had incest, so therefore we have to abort by force.
Which is one of the biggest problems, because it means the responsibility rests on the pregnant person to show they've been raped or the pregnancy resulted out of the incest, and to do it timelessly, because it's not safe to terminate the pregnancy.
Okay.
So for a case from the point where I report a case, there's been sexual violence, it's been rape or incest, to the time proof of rape.
Of course.
And the pregnancy in 9 months.
Sure.
And there's a certain period where it's no longer viable or safe to terminate the pregnancy. So in other countries, what they are doing is, okay, this is the result of the pregnancy. They allow the termination to take place and keep the fetus or the cells for testing and for other evidence.
Okay.
But it's not happening like that.
Okay.
What is actually happening is, okay, I've been raped and I'm now pregnant. The process is so lengthy. Let's apply a court order.
Sure.
I think when a court order is cross a border and you need a court order if the father is not consenting.
Mm-hmm.
How difficult the process was. This is even worse. For you to get a court order that allows the doctor to say terminate this pregnancy. Even nalokuthola just cuts to be able to present there.
Yeah.
And then it's not even clear do you need the police to be the ones to start the process? No DPP. So to the average Swati woman, Lole community or that 13-year-old girl, lo molestwa or rape malumu wake or babu wake, whatever the case is, it's a process that makes it almost impossible for them to be able to access that.
So basically, legally speaking, Clara Matashelana by the law.
Like my patilo.
Now, I want to take this question.
Too much.
Yeah, it is too
It's
much.
a lot. I didn't know this much.
You're really emotional.
No, like it's very sad. I really
is
didn't
sad.
know this much. Like you
Because
just
like
explained.
I feel like everyone is we have sisters, we have friends, and would hate for them to go through all this.
Yeah.
I thought if you can just go there, we should okay when they get now, and then quick as much, they will understand the
Yeah, it's quite a tricky one though. It's quite
now,
it's quite a tricky
I feel like we have to address this next one. This next one, I think, is the hardest one. It's why I came here. As we know, society is very judgmental towards abortion. Extremely judgmental. So much to a point here, like once you partake in it, it is like a seriously failure.
Yes.
So, but out but at the same time, see for the Seattle this is something that happens. Whether you couldn't or wouldn't or people will go through it because there is a need for it. Right? So how do you plan, by the way, to tackle with this, with such a campaign? As people, you have taken this upon your shoulders because this is something that you want to change. First of all, there are people like Natri, I don't want to lie. So there are 3 reasons in Volabava. So one of them is religious reasons, usually cultural. The second one is biological reason. Would say, oh, we cannot do that. Okay, that one that's him costly. I'm sure answer 3. Okay, there's religious and then there's cultural, and then there's biological. So how exactly do you have any argument against anyone who will bring this up? It's okay. It's because of law. Yes.
But I think we can remember back in the days where there used to be a rise in child marriages. 14, we are about uthi nje grade 5 wathi ukuthi ukhulela babebani, you know. But as we came with the approaches ukuthi sizama ukunciphisa, bese siyabona ukuthi labanye abafana ba empowered. Why? Because they have the information. 2, it comes with wisdom. Ukuthi nje ngikuphi information le age appropriate. It comes with the wisdom to even acknowledge ukuthi this is wrong, this is right yourself. Singakabafaki batali bakho. But now, as we try to impose the laws, we cannot do this because it's backed by the law. So child marriages. Back to our topic at hand. I'll quote it at backstreet abortions. The ones that we know or the ones that come to our tables, the ones that are reported. How about the ones that we don't know? Probably mine angisisi society nje all of us here ngeke besuthi nawubali society besuthi wena you're not part of that society.
Yes,
you get someone pregnant now, I wasn't saying a mistake, but you get someone unplanned pregnant, yes. And then you feel like hi, that's pregnant due to your own reasons as part of that society, and then you make an arrangement or that decision to say, hey baby, because of A, B, C, and D, and maybe na the contraceptive ni 70 because but maybe I skipped a day or two good safely, so decide on it. Once you are empowered, you decide to have a safe abortion. But as the society, the decision that you guys had to make, no to answer the society. Now meaning I'm going to judge you. It's not like when you have the baby, I'll also come to my pampers and also I saw something on Twitter. It was a guy. I don't know what you call it, but they were dancing with their peers.
We need that.
So you guys have a baby on the way.
Huh?
You have
no,
a
I'm
baby
saying
on the
like we need to normalize in Zabayima baby shower for
we
men.
definitely do.
Okay. But they were dancing, they had their beards and they were also dancing with pampers and things like that. It's not like getting a star when data now. It's your decision to have a baby at the time that you want to have the baby with your partner. In society, what we'd rather do is when we've got the right or the age appropriate information, what is it really? What is really this topic about? Cultural wrong. Futhi njeni ngeke bese senithi ngikanye kanye emashidini bese sinidecide abort lo munye uthi hayi ama contraceptives isekamaningi ngaka. There are instances whereby umove nje unplanned sekwendekile wase siyamitha, and me as the child, me as the mother, maybe angeke kubonakalela kuwe ukuthi psychologically there's where I'm lacking yabona. And then must find out there is something noma kukhona info lengam prohibita ukuthi akhone kufala umfana noma akhone kunakekela umfana. Angeke ngisho ukuthi I'm not going to use the name that Nisenkusho, but mina nje angikho kahle whether I'm being prepared ukuthi ngibe kahle or not, but nje
mental health.
Yes, nasikhuluma sizabe mental health. Nami sengiyathi ngingakabonakala nokuthi I'm pregnant, but sengiyathi cabanga yibone sengimloyo. So judging me as the society won't even cut it, because at the end of the day my friends will come and give me wrong information and then I'll still do it anyway.
To terminate. But also I think it's important for us to acknowledge, Kutsi, we haven't reached the point that we need to get to in terms of public health in coverage, family planning. Globally, UNFPA State of the World Population Report 2021, it shows globally half of all pregnancies in the world are unplanned. Half.
That's a big number.
That's a big number.
That's a very big number.
And that unfortunately speaks to about 121 million pregnancies that happen, langabi planned. And data is kombisa ukuthi 60% of unplanned pregnancies end in abortion. Whether we wanted to or it doesn't. Nangabe pregnancy by unplanned, 60%, over half of them usually end up in abortion. What happens is, if we restrict abortion, it means ukuthi ayekho abortion cases, and it doesn't. Data iyakhombisa le Happiness Institute, and they do it like periodically every 5 years, so that kutoba nale data sikhombisa ukuthi sikuphi in terms of issues gender equality and safe abortion. But ikhombisa ukuthi prevalence abortion doesn't decrease when a country has restrictive laws. Now the prevalence of abortion is 27%, like it's around that time, about 2019. if it's 27%, it continues to be there. Even if your laws are stricter, what happens is most of your abortions tend to be unsafe. And in countries, for example, we'll use a country like South Africa, where it's not as restricted. The prevalence didn't change when they removed the restrictions. It's just that the people who were going to terminate are now able to terminate safely.
Yeah.
And that's why we are saying the notion of the laws makes the prevalence abortion is not founded. It's not true.
Okay.
Whether umthetho restriction or restrict prevalence abortion itabakhona. The only difference is la khona umthetho relaxed, people do it safely.
Okay.
Safely go shock thing. My health facility, they test, but told ukuthi vele they are pregnant. They get a scan, they get counseling, they get family planning, they get counseling. They are post the termination. Okay. As opposed to unsafe. Unsafe means if I'm lucky, I can be able to afford the pill that I'm saying some maybe on social media. If I'm lucky, I don't complicate. In many cases they do. They bleed, they get infections. And necessarily infected, and this is where our law becomes interesting. When one has terminated and in the back street and it gets complicated, our law says that person is now welcome to come back to the facility. We provide post-abortion care, but we don't provide the abortion. Simela ukuthi qala akube complicated. Akabe complicated, bleed out, abuya. And nakabuya lapho sothi ngingadi. Ingadi sekusila ngwane bekune shortage last year nje this year bekathi umna kathi ingadi ubhala abangani bakho kwa Facebook ubhala Facebook uthi ngithinga blood type O udani. So now with post abortion it means with some of that blood medicine because that's an emergency case we have facilities over so bleed out abanye sibani my infection, which means now safuneka ama antibiotics that we could be keeping for bantu labama accidents. And then there's the cost of post abortion care. Post abortion care costs up to 5 times more than providing safe abortion. So even economically,
it is not.
It doesn't make economical sense. Back to your question about my issues are religious, cultural, and what was the last one? Biological. All right.
Which I think you just answered. Yeah.
In terms of religious, an interesting fact: in America, they did a study on people who had accessed abortion. 60% of those who had actually accessed termination services reported that they regarded themselves as Christian.
That's interesting.
Meaning nabagcwalisa form.
Nabagcwalisa form ukuthi wena and ukukhumbula ukuthi America kuna option ya atheist. Akufana la kithi kuna Christian yabona na traditional kuphela. Good atheist. America khona atheist, kukhona I'm sure even the option yokuthi no non-conforming
at all. Yeah.
But labo 60% of them chose Christian.
Hypocrisy.
It's not hypocrisy. It just means these are human beings with human issues. We are bringing a moral discussion into a space that is not a moral space. It's a public health issue. It's a health issue. One needs to access a service, and they should be able to do so. By all means, I've actually on this agenda spoken on another platform. And obviously they had their own opinion about how this is so morally wrong and everything. I'm not going to bring those on this show because this is not what today was about. But this is my opinion, Mandis. Bafundisa abashumayeli by all means. But bangawusuki sonweni nekushumayeleni noma community beteke health facility batokhipha ama clients kuthi angakhona access service esibhedlela. Sikhulumisa nyalo ema issues ukuthi bantu nabafika esibhedlela bafuna service should be able to get it. And that's not space emfundisi. Honestly, it's not. Mfundisi ashumayele esonweni ashumayele pass rank ashumayele la avumeleke khona. But angasuki lena esibhedlela totshela abantu ukuthi banga access service. It's outside of jurisdiction yakhe. Same place with cultural things.
Okay.
But we promote but we know sexual debut starts from 16 in our country. We are doing a lot to make sure people start having sex later, but they are not.
They are not.
They are not.
Starting at 14 now.
Yeah, we had a training, I think, with young people. They said things that were so scary to me. About sexuality and what they know. And they said a line that really, really, Lang Shaker also Nami as as a mother of almost teenager. But but now, ma'am, after 12 is lunch.
Steam.
Yeah. And really,
After 12 is lunch. It's a
So-
common line.
It is.
But that you even used in high school.
No,
So
not
late,
me.
kakhulu.
Ufake katholo siswami ukuthi ngalisebenzisa
That's a
kuthi mina licommon ngiyadada.
Laughing.
Machaka probably used it, but ngeke asitshele.
No.
Like, so, but what-
Qophinze.
Wandani?
Khona there's something like shit.
It's 10.
It's uyakholwa Machaka.
Sonke.
Okay, take
It's
this
nothing
one.
special. But if you had a plea to make to policymakers as SAfAIDS, what would it be? Because of course you guys don't make any policies, no rules or something. You guys just provide the information. You would say, hey guys, kuhanjwa la. Masingahamba. So what would be your plea to the policymakers? Because go get better.
Yeah, but we are advocating for the relaxation with regards to the abortion policies. And by this, we are not saying abortion should just be openly accessible, just anytime, anywhere, anyhow. I think as Umpate said here, Guti, we just want young people to be able to make a choice. We want young people to be free to access their rights. And it is and this is a human rights also. Imagine if I were to be not to say we are reckless when it comes to unsafe sex, but also the relaxations of these policies to say, now move lo musha, just go to the facility, talk to your nurse, because I see so clean. Those steps, may I follow those steps, but could be timely. Even if I'm a rape victim in the country, you find that no matter what police reporting it, saying she told me I was raped, I need ABC and C. Ngiyahamba ngenkantolo ngiyabuya ngiyonde ma-swabs too ngiyabuya ngade ma-swabs in all this process. After the process has been done, I'm already 6 months and I'm like, I've even made up my mind because it's late.
It's late.
But if I were just to go to the facility, do that police report, those tests, ngakhona lo cancel because the backstreet market mina nje ngakuthengisela ucabanga ukuthi ngizobe sesengiyabuya ngizokunikeza free service ngingibhadala. Because if I already and now figure lapho nginafanele ukuthi it's your blood ingaba kungakasebenzi ubhadale kwesi2 ngakho ke sengizokunikeza the other one yabona. But if I were to access it ku facility umuntu lo trained lo wathi ukuthi what do I need akhona ukungicancela before I even do it, akhona ukungicancela after. That's what we call post-abortion care. Sengicedile akhona nokunginikeza the family planning method as to not to do the very same mistake until it was unplanned. But I'm even safer and I'm even well informed. I know what to do next.
No, there's this question that I have to ask, which I'm sure you guys have received this accusation many times in Birania. What do you say to people who say abortion is a crime in terms of what it is murder?
What is murder?
I think the logo takes us back to the discussion of when does life begin. Some people believe life begins at inception, like when as soon as the sperm and the egg klangana, that's a human being. Some people believe life begins when the child comes out upon. We know that in terms of our laws, if they can't inherit, for example. They don't have a name, they're not legally registered. So legally, they become a human being when they're on the outside. So the discussion, I think, takes us back to when can we call it termination? Initially, when a woman is pregnant, I remember this when I had my first child, I was a bit offended when I went to the health facility. And they'll say, the fetus is what? The fetus. And then as the pregnancy progresses, you'll hear the language changing. It's okay, the baby. But now Safika health facility, abasho it's a baby. Now 12 weeks. Because Lapo is a collection of cells. And honestly, a lot of women even have like spontaneous abortion where your body just terminates when the baby doesn't survive within the first 3 months. And sometimes when that happens, you don't even have to clean. Your body just absorbs it because it's cells. So I gotta be a full human being. It's only when cooler outside of a certain period. And that's why I say, even in terms of termination, 7 months or, when it's 7 months pregnancy and the pregnancy is viable, then it's termination. There's a time frame. Okay. These things are time sensitive. Now it's within the first 20 weeks, as it is in most countries. Okay. It's a collection of cells. So say fetus, actually it's even an embryo. Okay. That's why now in many health facilities, now still born, yes. Now it's that time frame before the 20 weeks, and especially cleaner, and it's just because it's not happening, and you can't say, give me the clot number we are born. So all those maybe might be things that we need to educate our communities about, but don't understand. To pregnant. Now about 16 weeks or whatever, because there's nothing to bury. And then you because lapo is a collection of cells. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's why we embryo or we fetus. It's not yet a baby.
I want to ask you something here. Okay, it's got to do, I would say, it's within, society and whatnot. I think having a baby is between a guy and a woman, right? Mm. So, you guys are vouching for easier access, simpler access to safe abortion, and safe abortion, right? So, I also believe the keeping of a baby should be a decision made by both the man and the woman, right? So my question is, should it really be a decision between the two of them keeping the baby, or can the woman decide on her own? Let's say, I don't want to have your child right now. And then how do you guys also handle that?
Yeah, that's a very interesting one, because when the child is out and everything, in the decision making, you're not involved. You're going to be involved. Mm-hmm. At some point, you're going to maintain this child. Yeah. The truth is, the person who gets to carry the baby to term is the one who has the rights to decide whether they want to carry the baby to term or not. Mm-hmm. That's why the discussion on termination is a pro-choice discussion. It's a discussion to say women should be allowed the choice to determine what they want to do with their bodies. They can determine whether they want to carry a baby to term, or they can opt not to. And who are dating and not married, but it goes across the spectrum.
Of course.
Yeah. Data I had my institute actually showed said I think it was about 15. I'm not sure about the percentage of people who terminated were actually in married or committed relationships. So it's not just something that affects single women. It's an issue that affects women across the board. Because there could be many reasons that a woman can decide, I'm not ready to have a child, or I'm just, maybe a woman can say, I never want to have a child. And then now I find myself, I'm in a position, now I'm pregnant. Should I be forced into parenting for the next 20 years? A woman that I do not want, that I've said, I have no interest in parenting them. No, it's not to the benefit of the child or to anyone. Your question, does the guy
you're moving very well. I just want to chuck one in there real quick. So then, what does it put, I know it's about women, but what does it put the man as well? Because I really want to have a baby, and now you're pregnant. You understand? So don't you think it could cause serious problems also? Because you decide, I mean, I'm for 9 months, I just don't want this. And yet you're here saying you're my life partner. You understand? Working towards you being my life partner. You understand? Do you think also the simpler or easier access and simpler steps to getting a safe abortion could also cause very big problems out here in relationships and so forth?
That is true, because if when you feel you are ready to be a father, and I feel I'm not ready, I have other things that I'd like to do before, you will feel aggrieved. But the truth is, you're not carrying the child. You're not going to feel the impact of the pregnancy. And pregnancy, having a child for women, I promise you, and I've been telling this to my friends, do it as young as you can. I had my first one at 29, because it's basically 2.5 years of your life.
I thought you were 25. Yeah.
I kind of. I don't even know how to come back from that one.
Ish, I got prepared. Ish, now I'm ready. What?
I was so not ready.
No.
Okay. Yeah, so, but it takes like 2.5 years because the 9 months that you're pregnant, sometimes pregnancy is difficult for women. Some of them have to stop physical activity. Some women, like controls active, they need to drop out of gym. Depending on when you deliver, how you deliver. Sometimes you find yourself, you have a C-section. You have to recover physically, emotionally, at work, academically. It's a lot of strain to put on a woman. So it's not just something that I can do just because I need to make my partner happy. I need to know that I'm in the right space to do it. Because if I'm not, these are the things that lead to postnatal depression, because they can't bond with the child after that. The child is feeling neglected. And then we find ourselves in a society where we have lots of young people who are walking around, they just have anger issues. Because they were just raised by people who just basically didn't want them. And they made them feel it. So it won't benefit any of us to keep forcing parenting, forced parentage on people who know you're now pregnant, be a parent again. Because no matter will you force me to love this person? You can't. Will you force me to bond with this person? You can't.
And that's where family planning comes in.
Yeah. Would pre-abortion counseling assist in any way?
Yes.
Like concerning partly, Leo would say, I would really love us to keep the baby, but Squilly saying no.
Now that's when it's safe.
Okay.
Imagine if I were to go to a facility and then want to access safe abortion care. And the pre-counseling, where they still yet to counsel me and to like the process.
Yeah.
That is where also your angle will come in because
Exactly.
issues and components of family planning. See, now we'll have babies in 2020. Now it's 2019. Now I'm going for a 4-month workshop in Japan. But here now I'm pregnant. But not that me and you are not doing family planning.
But also, I think the counseling pre-abortion is very key. I know several people, including a friend of mine, who went for termination in Nelspruit because that's what they give you the whole package. And termination is just going to a facility. No, there's a lot that goes into that package, and that's why we are saying it's very essential for women and girls to get it. Because when in counseling, it's okay, you're at 12 weeks. Now having a heartbeat, you hear the heartbeat. My friend who wanted to have a termination, she went there with her partner, and she had decided, this is it. She went there, and I was sure. But are you sure? I was sure. Are you sure? Are you sure? But when they put the scan, I heard the heartbeat. I realized that no, I don't want. So it's not everyone who goes there who will eventually do it. Some people, there are no circumstances that can make it comfortable for them to to maintain the baby. But not as you know what, it's going to be difficult, but I still want to keep this child. But no one is so desperate because no matter heavy heartbeat, that's why we end up with a situation like a few years back.
Yes. One place.
Those people, nobody has an abortion because it's just fun, a fun thing to do.
What's up? Yeah.
No, but people do that because they're desperate. Nobody will just have an abortion. You know what? Yeah, let me think. Yeah, let me just fall pregnant and then have a termination. Nobody does that just for fun.
And then it starts for Fairview. Just checking. I'm checking if the any stats for Fairview. Busy. What's up as busy. Fairview on the park.
But I guess we are trying many ways to have money.
Of course.
And if I were to, I was surprised one of those days. It's in the facilities, but it's not the pill. It's not for what we think it is for. So if I have access for it, one, staff is opening a black market. Facebook. Now that I don't know how Facebook operates, now figure out Facebook to one of the pages. I don't want it's easily accessible. Good night number of foot slap her. So if the black market, I'm talking about the black market now. If I give you the pill, I'll make an example of a commonly talked measure. I give you the pill now, young nigga 450 when I go back home. I had someone talking about 450. After that, you also
That's a 450.
The wider market, to follow what my next customer will come from you, even. Because
refer.
when you do no, I easily got it here, and then I'll give you simple steps. After that, whether you loss of blood, whether so no complications, whether so vanilla or left, I got my 450 and I've left. No. And also, I think
we should be interviewing. That's what.
But also, I was stopping this Khumalo. Recently, there was a headline about young kids labating this pill. I think it was on Times of Eswatini, where they were selling these pills and trying to make money. Because it's unsafe, obviously, and it's the black market. They're doing it behind doors. It's the termination, and after that, they feel like they're fine. Only to realize, in future times, you find that it causes infertility and infections and the likes.
In Minega, that's where the moral thing comes in for me. Why is it better for us as a country to watch people dying than it is for us to allow them to have choice?
Question for the ages. Okay.
That then goes down to something that's a bit deeper and what's currently going on in Eswatini. You understand? Because everything starts from top.
And the truth is, with our current economic situation, because our economy is structured in such a way that those who are doing well are doing well and extremely well, and those who are not doing well, COVID made things so much worse for them. Girls are having, to do unthinkable things to access the packet and sanitary pads. In our country, my pads are still being taxed. That they have no choice whether now figure puberty, your period will come every month unless you're pregnant. Whether you have money to buy a pad or ude, period appeared.
Sanitary pads are taxed.
They're taxed.
How about condoms?
And veggies
No, condoms are not taxed.
Oh.
They aren't?
No.
I was checking.
They are not.
Check again. Sex is a choice and menstruation isn't. That's our other advocacy issue. We really need to look at how our laws are affecting our women and girls, because it's we are not having enough representation in our lawmakers, because which is another thing that we need to really push for next year. We need to see more women parliamentarians, and in particular good women who are going to stand up and speak to our issues.
Of course.
Because we are facing a lot of difficult things as a country, but it's even worse for women. Women are compromising themselves. They are sinking deeper into depression and vulnerability because of poverty. And it's like it benefit from keeping women below the poverty line.
So do you guys as SAfAIDS have any statistics on the number of women that die per year to unsafe abortion, either worldwide or Africa, Southern Africa, or even Eswatini?
Eswatini, we're waiting to see. There's a study that was done last year. We're waiting for it to be disseminated. Okay. But we know that globally, unsafe abortion contributes between 5 to 14% in terms of maternal mortality. And it's a big number because reducing maternal mortality is one of our core things that we're looking for in terms of mass sustainable development goals. Under the SDGs, were things that we're working on, all those things, good governance, gender equality, education, and all of that. One of those is reducing maternal mortality because that's an indicator on whether a country is doing well. And our numbers are not going to do well unless we do deal with this, because in maternal mortality, there are many things that contribute to it. Yes, in some way, but nalama unsafe abortions, they are contributing because the pill. There are other more gruesome ways that women are terminating.
Which are?
Weevil tablet.
To pierce.
Weevil tablet?
Yeah, some the case. I'm desperate. And that's what we need to understand. We'll see. We're not desperate, we do anything kupuma desperation. Where are so that's a door and nagasafuna kusawudobosa le kule placenta dala unyekala imali endleleni obviously wananayo le khothenga. I mean, how sanitary is it? Labanye babasebenza even nosungulo lokorosha, so that atophiesa le plus usikhuluma nge desperation that people are reaching for e-service. For less very corner facility. The pills are already there. And they will tell the police government, it's not costing a 450.
Guys, who can we talk to? Do we need to protest or something?
I'm telling you, something needs to happen.
Something really needs to happen. Like it's very dangerous. It's very, very dangerous.
But she spade people are obviously she nanga ukhina ngawe train wendani ke nakufake enzaweni sensitive kanje usha konke but umuntu usuke athi anything is better than uthi nikelisha this child to term. And ukhumbule ukuthi our laws also, because it's so interesting for us ukuthi we open our eyes to some things and sibe very firm about some things but sibe relaxed about other things. Asikhulume ngeqiniso. Let's say umuntu uthi okay, I can't keep the child but I can carry the child to term. Is there a place to put even manvan? In other countries, baby safe places. Now I also had a child and I can't take care of them. We are mega. Now I have to somewhere back. See what happened? My people, because none money in the community again. You could call me pregnant and some understand. Still, and told us one of people. And when they would a newborn.
Yeah, I heard of a lady though. I heard from some friend of mine. Which there's a lady though. Of I think like RFM. Tata abandona labang abandoned and yabakhulisa, educates them, homeschooling nyana, gives them skills, so I think I'm not sure if she's white, but she's definitely not Swazi.
Because why would I?
That's for sure. Maswati mase adoption kamele siqapha sende education ngokuya ukuthi ningahlupheki ukuthi madloda akhe akuphi. I promise you, but that's nje ngilanza umfana lengamati. Many Swazis are struggling with fertility issues. Uthola couples that are doing well that could adopt a child, go to RFM and find umfana bamshiyile, but they won't because beva ngazuthi there must be some relationship, because samele ukuthi nale cultural thing and for break it down into pieces to say, guys, we are using our culture to not only to help ourselves, to help ourselves. We need parents, and you are there and you're looking for a child. But culture yet for hey, bruh, please. It's a baby.
It's not even supposed to be such a big deal because ngisho kwawena uyoshada ngiyabhekisa kuyephavile kamachaka vele kufike kuba introduce labakini lekhaya vele kwendiwa already.
Uyabona
ngendiwa already
futhi kuyenzeka ukuthi introduce lekhaya kani uthole ukuthi kahle kahle nalozwane akusuye ubaba wakho mbamba ubaba baba batwa makwakho
uyabo.
So this whole thing of the tibongo nje nani asingabuka kahle hle into nje lesicela mahala kahle kahle lesibani busonke.
Bathi niyaphunyisela ngiyamathala guys.
Now back to a question. Okay, the reason better than Mrs. Machaka. I love your surname. I heard you also a sentence here, Del Kona, which is, among others are Kona. Maninga sentence, by the way, that justify a lot of these things like Funawi Kurumanya. Like after 12 it's lunchtime. Sometimes you will hear like guys saying creepy things to young girls, Benga.
I don't know. I don't say it.
Like I've heard, I've
I
heard.
definitely do, but this is not the day. It's not the day for that.
Okay, I'm going to say.
I feel like I'll say one line and I'll be judged for the rest of the year. Yeah, December will come. I'll be at Groove. I'll be here. There's that guy that said, but.
No, I have heard like Malay Laganjalo would see after 12 is lunchtime, like young girls being over guys, probably like Kula Mazambani, Stotle my chips, Kula Slatla Stove Yela, among a lot of things.
Slatla Stove Yela. Okay, yes.
Why are you so excited with the stuff here?
But that was a very it's a funny one. It's in Manj. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. That's long. It took a lot of thought, yeah, Bon. So So that means all these
After,
things.
when we're done, guys, I'm going to tell you 5 more. Yeah? Can't say
So
it on camera.
the reason why I'm bringing this up is just to show for a very long time, teenage pregnancies, like underage sex, is something that has been going on. People have been advocating. I'm not sure it's advocating, but into le khona into abantu labayendawo yini bantu labanganankinga nayo. To some other people kuyathusa nje ukuthi you are 18 years old, you haven't engaged in any of this, kuba ngathi you are the odd person out. So ngiyabuta ukuthi since because kwananyalo the law still isn't there, does SAfAIDS have any programs that will address these social issues and prevent unwanted pregnancies?
Yes. Edward, since the crux of the matter, because the truth is, we still need to do a lot to prevent unwanted pregnancies or unplanned. We call it prevention of early and unintended pregnancies, because a pregnancy can be unintended, but it's not early. What about, maybe you're at varsity, or you're 24, but it's not as early. But ngende 14, lapo it's early and unwanted, because there's no one that can benefit from a 13-year-old becoming a mother. Not even the baby, not the 13-year-old, who didn't benefit. Everyone involved in the situation overhead. And while there are some campaigns going on, we need to have more information. The truth is, as much as possible, young people need to delay sexual debut. The later you start, the better it is for you. Because, and I'm saying this purely from an SRH perspective, you enjoy it better when you know what you're doing and you can actually have control of what is happening. The earlier you start, it's difficult for you to even say, are you even liking what is happening? Chances are the person who introduced or debut will probably be somebody who's experienced, probably even older. And the age group in 13 to 15 HIV prevalence, your girls is 5 times. Even 15 to 24, is 3 times. Which means chances are, it's the age groups. So intergenerational is a serious problem for us, because 13, it's not another 13-year-old puberty boy breaking the virginity of the girl. Akwendeki kubang labanye labasebendako labangathenga perfume labangamthengela ama pads and the girl has no control to say, this is hurting me, I'm not liking this. So even just from an empowered feminist, and I'm a feminist point of view, I would encourage girls to wait until you're ready, so that you know when you're doing it, you're ready, you want to do it. You won't be under pressure. Don't do it to prove your love to someone, or to keep someone in a relationship with you, or to keep his interest. Because his interest will go and come as he wants. You have no control over that. So just delaying, even from the biology of it, it's better for your body to just grow before you start, introducing sex. Even for you emotionally, it's better for you to be just emotionally ready. But then, we know some young people do not have a choice on when they debut, because 1 out of 3 girls in our country face gender-based violence by the time they reach 18. So what about pregnancies esikhuluma ngawo? La maningi akhona awasikona consensual. It's uncles, bantu labadzala esontweni, bantu labadzala community who are taking advantage of the children. So nasiyibuka le issue le, senda lama programs, senda lama messages, kumele siyibuka from all angles. There's the young girl who thinks they're in love with this guy and they want to prove their love. Le message leyo ngeke ifana nalona lohlala ekhaya namalume ohlala kagogo lo abuse ngamalume wakhe. Because Lorna cannot say no. She's saying no, but somebody's continuing to do it. She's saying no, but I got no choice. And then there's another girl who wants to say no, but if she says no, the malume who gives her lo 350, akona kuthenga impuphu ekhaya, akona kuthenga shiwa buya naso nakabuya esikolweni, akona kuthenga singwa. If she says no, that guy will stop giving her money. So when you do our messages, kumele simtarget all these different girls. Lona lo wonder because I'm in love and I want to be together with him forever. Lona lo who is being sexually abused. Lona munye who thinks I'm consenting, but the only reason she's consenting is because it's in my mind. Naye lona ka consent. Naye lona is being sexually abused. So ukuthi ngicabanga ukuthi ngiyavuma. Because yathi ukuthi while we can say sex work of adults is work, they've decided to do that work. If we minor, it's not sex work, it's child abuse. You can't say I engaged, no, impatele. If they are underage, that is statutory rape. They cannot consent to have sex with you because they are children. So as we do our programs, it's important to target the different vulnerabilities that are affecting our girls, looking at the realities. We'll see the things that are happening in our society. Make our girls, because we're in such a difficult position, they find themselves that they're not ready for. Labanye abatifun, batitende kakhulu. Labanye, they want to maybe engage, but they want access to the commodities, but it's difficult. In our country, we still have 24% unmet family planning need, which means 24% of people who want to prevent pregnancy. But abakhoni ngoba kude ama commodities. Sisamele siqhubeke sikhuphule leyo nkulumo. So nasikhulumisa le mfole, singacabangi nje ukuthi people are just abantu abavilapha, abantu banjanjanyana. No. Yeah, it's like way more complicated.
I feel like social media, there's a lot going on. There's really a lot going on.
I'm telling you, I don't know what that means, but it is true. There's a lot.
This is what I was ranting about in the episode there. Exactly what this lovely lady next to me with a beautiful surname is saying.
Which is Machaka.
Your surname is beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Nesake si right. Nesake si out there. Si right. It's all right. It's bongo nje. But I'm saying, that's what I think I was angry about during that episode. About this notion of people could see we have problems, but no one wants to talk about it. No one wants to iveta, no one wants to funa kuyikhuluma, and then siyathi kuthi iyendeka. But the minute kuvela someone abe like we have a problem like so, or noma singasho sithi sinenkinga leka so, people act kwangathi like uyakhuluma nje sikushubile emhlabeni it's in simane siyakhuluma nje, but when you bring forth lama issues uthi yathi sinenkinga nayi lenkinga specifically. You know what I hate is the fact that no one says okay, so tena na inkinga nayi, let's sit down and address it. Bantu basukela wena lote na lenkinga bafune ukuthulisa wena, so that you pin the foot and immediately now thula wena, they'll go back to their shells and ignore the problem, which is something that is to stop quickly.
Fast.
And it falls across a lot of issues.
How has the reception been so far towards?
And I'm sure they relate to what I just said.
I absolutely relate, and that's so much frustrates me about being a Swati. I love being a Swati. That's how much I love it. But also my friend sells these t-shirts.
Okay.
But
who's your
also. Do you want to sell for?
Sal, go ahead.
Give
a shout out.
Get them even in the color, the Swazi flag colors. The Swazi.
Okay.
Cool. Very nice. The Wheeler sells them. You can get the number from me. I love Gutsuma Swati. People who are calm. I love Gutsuma Swati. Before we say things, siyacabanga how sitibeke kanjani, and sitibeke ngendlela where they land softly. We try to make sure all our words land softly. What I don't like about us is how we will push to maintain the illusion that things are fine, to the point where noma besibona ukuthi akhambi kahle. But nothing's happening, and mhlambe nasithulile. The wave let out, and it won't. And that's the thing that breaks my heart about our people. Because, when somebody says, even those who feel you're drawing attention.
Because Swazis are polite.
We were socially raised.
Yeah, to be polite.
But also...
Which is a big problem.
But at the same time, is not. But at the same time, let's use the politeness to talk about it. Smane sikhulume ngayo sibe polite. Not ukuthi kuhlawuthwa kahle kahle so wala nasikwehlise ngelijobo yabo. Basho ngeSiswati bathi kwehlisa ngelijobo.
People
usiyakusukuma emhlanganweni kahle.
Must just move. Like for real.
I feel like that's not what you wanted to say.
Definitely not.
You do not want to say what you wanted to say.
Yeah, no, but no, for real. This whole thing of being, all polite and whatnot, it has gotten us to where we are today.
You have a lot of
abortion
problems,
and many
bro.
other issues.
Yeah.
You understand? If we'd really stand up and really fight against unsafe abortion and really fight against these people that are in the black market, you understand? Like have an action plan that says, hey, we're here. Once you are caught that you're one that sells these drugs, because these are drugs already, that is selling these drugs, kube na something le serious, yabo, and justice system yet support, kube, yabo, like you feel like because they treat it like it's murder in a way, you know.
Angijoin you akuhlonipha umthetho.
No.
Awuhlonipha umthetho.
Angitiscat himself as a starting. Listen,
we are SAfAIDS.
My own leaders.
Anyway, that's it.
No, wait. My own leaders cannot follow instructions they wrote down. Now I must follow them.
At least if it's a law, people would abide.
Yeah.
Now, we also run an application called SAfAIDS, where we use it as a feedback mechanism. You go to the facility, you access the service, and then you feedback ministry and the service providers go to partake in. That is where we come across few of the tickets, the issues, we call them tickets, where we come across Bamfula Basha, Sagabutu Muvuti, Masak Khumalo, what do I do? Nyalo, I am in this dilemma, what is happening? Our application is anonymous. If you write your issue there, it just shows a number, not your name. So I go to so desperate for the aftercare. Akabhali ngoba ujabulile lapha egroupini but ubhala because so uyabona ukuthi my life is at risk with ABC and C. So uyabhala like the application because our application is a feedback mechanism. But because ngoba wena so kule stage of desperation lesithi angisati ke nyalo kusina sekwendeka kanje now what is happening, so ubhala like the application. What happens when this type of clot comes out? Lokhu sikhombisa ukuthi young people are still afraid, even though they know that they can access the post-abortion care, because we have filmed it as illegal. We've also so I can't just freely go there and say I had A, B, C, and D. So
you've had an unsafe abortion and you feel you're losing blood or you're getting complicated, go to a health facility. You don't have to get there and say, I had an extra abortion. Just go there. Also, there's something that's going on here that I don't understand. You have a right to access the service. That is part of your sexual reproductive health rights. And within the service package that should be given to you.
Okay.
We're fine.
I'm fail. Yeah. So I think now next question. Because it's nembuto lemnengi man kahle. Biningi imbuto ya. Njengoba nathi you guys have been talking about the GBV, most importantly rape, and most importantly we touched on the issue of incest. Siyathi ukuthi there's been angathi noma ukuthi there's been a spark or ngimi lo soqala kuva ngayo more nyalo, maybe because I've reached adulthood, maybe into lebeyifeli khona ndvulo. But ke is something lebeyikhona that will result therefore kule unwanted pregnancies. Ngifuna nje ukuthi for you two to actually appeal, by the way, and explain kumuntu lo ngasolo reluctant right now ukuthi how does lama restrictive policies, njengoba nichazile they are restrictive policies, therefore affect us ekutheni silwe nalento lekhona, silwe ne-GBV. Because my thinking, ucabanga kwami, if nabe I'm wrong, you tell me, ucabanga ukuthi lama restrictive policies they also prevent us in a way with fighting i-GBV. Kulukhulu kulwa ne-GBV ubunema restrictive abortion policies. So ukuzama kuchaza ukuthi like lama restrictive policies ayaye asite ahlupha ngani ekutheni silwe nalo sodofa.
My restrictive policies are stigmatizer the issue that lafuna ukuthi service lafuna ukuthi ayithola. Umuntu lo is survivor ye sexual violence. The first thing that they want before even justice, the person who did this to me, more than anything, they want to be able to move on with their life without the impact of that incident carrying them through. It's more important to the survivor for them to not carry a pregnancy from that rape than it is for that perpetrator to be arrested. Unfortunately, umthetho wethu focus on ukuthi rape abophe the perpetrator. Kuboshwa perpetrator mina ngisale ne pregnancy for the rest of my life. Ye perpetrator yami akungisethi fana nowe ukuthi umuntu ngiboleka imali wangibhadala bese senge amaphoyisa akubophe wena ayikabuyi imali yami.
Melibuye le mali.
Ngoba agcina konke yes khona satisfaction encane echamukako from ukuthi
uphile swipe
but imali yami konke ngifuna imali yami. So kumcwaba ukuthi umthetho finance sibuke kanjalo ukuthi kakhulu into edingwa ku-survivor ngu-survivor kunokuthi ngikhona uku-recover from the incident with minimal impact on the rest of my life. Nangabe I have to carry a pregnancy after that. Lokho ukuthi lo muntu lona usejele. Lo muntu onto ephuma ejele mina solo ngiselene neswala emele ngilikhulise. Asaphumelele sase sentence yakhe yena chubeke.
It's a constant reminder.
For the rest of my life. Usinyalo sengithola umfana lo kanje. My neighbors will be asking, and there's also the stigma that comes with that. Can you imagine raising a child that came from a result of rape? First of all, we know for a lot of circumstances, when a woman says she's been raped, there's a certain percentage of people that don't believe them. So if a young person are pregnant, we are to know, because utini emangweni again. Siyathi sonke silangwa mnaka mithi mina yobikwa sisu. Lo mntwana so rape sibiwe kuphi sisu. Nasingabikwa bathimba makhelwane ngayo. Sekwende kanjani lapho? Bonke omama babafana la kule community batshela into badala lapha nebhasop. Ayathi umfana wakuphi. What should she do? She should go around telling everyone ukuthi no umfana mina ngiyathi ukuthi we rapist. Ngeke zakhona kwenda lokho. So impact yaleyo incident leyo on the life yale survivor of the rape. Say worse because umthetho ukhethe wona ukuthi ufocus on ukuthi when the revenge kule perpetrator then ukuthi usitemine survivor ukuthi ngingabi ne impact. So the restrictive laws, they are affecting the rights of survivors. They need to be able ukuthi nangi survivor access yonke the service package. Nangiya ngi-reporta ukuthi ngirape and siyathi ukuthi ikhona PEP yewe kusinabe kwindwe but it was within 72 hours and siyathi ukuthi in many cases people don't present to facility within 72 hours because initially the first thing that happens to a survivor rape is they want to pretend as though the whole thing didn't happen because there's also still a lot of stigma around rape. There is and that's the truth. Nangabe nje as a woman when they get violence you don't want people to know because then you also bakhoma. Even if you're in a relationship with someone, no boyfriend, do they even want to still continue with you? So when they're in for the everyone. So there's a lot of stigma that has to do with that.
Pity.
Nale pity. The melsa lu imemi lenyana for impilo yakho yonke. So le bele lebuya kulo muntu longa ke ndilutho ibese bayiningi. Base kwa worse ke nasuthi umthetho kuwe hayi hamba wena uye uprova waqala kuzo umuntu okurapile. And then ke sesiyobona ukuthi uyayithola in court order ukuthi ugcina ukhona terminate. And then usihamba leyo process leyo ugcina sekubonakala ukuthi sekulate nyama. Valumfana mgcini and nase sakaphumile kude la ngihambeka khona ngithatha uyekhaya ne state kude ama grants phela la kangwane for ukuthi uthola umfana lo kanjalo uhamba naye uyodondlela uyadibonela la kangwane umthetho uthi sex with a minor is statutory rape but they're still not affording termination services to minors. Okay, how can it benefit anyone for a 13-year-old to become a mother? It cannot.
Yeah. Second time you're saying that it's real.
It is real. It is. Ngicabanga mina nangina 13 nje bese seba unetha liswane 13.
Wena
nangina 13 mina ungineke liswane. Yeah. Okay ngitsho noma ngina 18 still ungineke liswane. Ngitsho ngina 21 hayi kahle kahle.
I have so much to say to you right now.
27 noma 9.
But sengathi cabanga like ngiyatibona ukuthi hayi man.
Nini niyadlala nini? Sisakhe 35 la. Uqala 13. That's it. Why ngidongela nipa na 25 mina. Mina ngidonga na 32 mina. 35.
So this country in our EGPV package, that's what they say, which is I don't know if nangabe nkungiyo yini, which is SOTV law.
Yes.
My thinking being ngocabanga ukuthi the SOTV law will have indlela address these issues that you just raised about teenage unwanted pregnancy, about people who have been pregnant because of GBV. But again, I was thinking ukuthi because sewushayile phela lo mthetho, therefore kutabe sekuba lula ukuthi nangabe so ube i-victim yale SOTV. So the process iba fast. So what are the gaps ke le into kusendweni ibe khona ke, therefore kwesibili lama gaps sesiwafixa ngalo.
So it's national guidelines that may the authority from ukuthi ihambe through the judicial system for a person to access a health service. Now, health facility in prison, I've been raped. Now they want to swap, they swap me. I don't need a court order for that. Within the 72 hours, the PEP, the HIV negative, to prevent seroconversion. I don't need a court order for that. Why do I need a court order for termination? It should be part of the same package.
Should.
Sure.
But I really feel like there's so much else that's involved within trying to get to the solution of termination. I feel like there's so much that needs to change. Kulama supporting structures. You understand? Why do I need a court order for this? Logo termination yet I don't need one for the PEP. You understand? So I think everything else that's going, because the thing is everything is linked to the next thing.
Then I see when I want stop center. I'm figuring like facilitating
an abortion one.
Not to say an abortion one. I say I'm a rape victim. I get at the reception desk, I'm referred to the next room. You swap me, you provide me PEP, you take me for counseling in another room. Yeah, but to report my case. If we do have them, not to say we do not have them, but if we do have them, make them popular. To everyone, broadcast it, put it in the Times, put it everywhere in social media, where young people should know that we have one-stop centers in the country where you can access the service. Because Lomunya Vele, Dokanda is a rape victim, but so ya vilapa because so yat.
And that's why previously clinic because police report
probably within the 72 hours due to their own reasons that we can't justify today.
And even naming the rapist, that's also a traumatic thing. It's even
they ask you to recall
and someone said even the way they swapped it was uncomfortable because Pelayena in this area. We need to know how to even deal with that rape victim. Because one meaning paramsis probably and someone forced himself to me. Now and these are the very same position. And you find that as the rape victim, probably you could have done a small anyana talk with me. For children, I also understand I had someone maybe for children they take batula. And then try to explain but you'd assume what's meaning in Dala and I know why you are here and do everything. So if we do have the one-stop centers, let's make them popular. Because young people do need information.
I'm sure it must be very traumatizing as well to keep on talking about this thing. Same thing I keep saying you understand?
Before long. Angimelo konke lokwendeka kumele ubone singishaya isikhathi ngijike ngibuyele ekhaya isikhathi semefike ngichaze ukuthi malume la khona malume nguyi breadwinner sato face leyo nole esekhaya ukuthi fanele ungatubopisa umfulo sondlawo la ekhaya.
And as Khumalo just said something now nalokuthi because of also the mental state you're in, you might say something here, leave out a detail, go to the next spot. Exactly. You understand?
And in the process, WhatsApp is entirely up and down. You find that it's 1 month, 2nd month, 3rd month. By the time heartbeat la, by the time you have an I'm keeping this, not intentionally keeping it. You'll find that down the line, so this is what I'm going to do. Because it's too late now, I can access safe abortion. I can manage.
No, I feel like the last question for me,
go ahead.
Personal. Last question, it's by my one-stop shop. Which is the end goal for us to address your issue? Let's give. Now, what's it for us? Because it's figured out. Collaboration. kuthi ngiloya bambe lapha nalapha sicule sesifike one stop shop. Who according to you or institutions or society or anyone lokumele afake isandla ukuze sifike kule one stop shop, and is it possible for you to address them ukuthi yatitsini wena lenenta nako nele representa naba lene representa naba asibambeni sesifike lana?
Okay, akhona ama stop centers la khona under ka DPP ka child protection. Usiyathi ukuthi they actually all minors upper garden one government. Nguye lo noma umbana wakhe ekhaya but kayena garden nomnye lo mkhulu wakhe nguye uhulumende. So under ka DPM ikhona a department that deals mostly with children's issues. So now depending on funding, they then set up, if they have funding, the one-stop centers. And akhona la khona la too, but they're not enough. We have 4 regions. Of course they are. We have our numbers of rape. I think it was last week. Was it Sunday or Saturday? It was Sunday morning when I saw it. He headline in the last 2 months, my rapes labe khona kamanzi. I was like, kocha kamanzi ngoja why kukanje? Konke lokho kwendeka khona. Babhale ukuthi in the last 2 months rape has escalated. Okay, crime in general is gone up, but it's escalated nyalo ukuthi it's even it's worse than it has been throughout the year, because after back gather the data quarterly. But now the last 2 months like amanzi, and I think it's also linked to the fact what's happening with the country regarding the situation in the police presence, especially in the evenings. But the reflection of that is because we're seeing an increase in crime, but also in particular in terms of rape cases. They are actually going up. Well, the report in Pepe and Amanzi, but I think it will be the same throughout the country. So it's important for us because having a stop center, having another one, is not enough. These things happen to women everywhere. Because that means everyone should be moving towards those two. And now on statistics on people who are being raped, even daily in our country, and just the numbers, those two will not be enough to service the people. So we do need to do more, or, this is my opinion, it's good to have one-stop centers, but let's mainstream the service provision into every facility. Clinic eblanzeni akathole yonke le package, that's health facility lena. Angisinafika clinic eblanzeni ngithole konke as much as ungadzinga ukuthi udzinga ukuthi nasu lapho semele uyespeak uze kukhona sitakala, because lento leyo ibangela ukuthi umuntu nami acabanga semele save imali ngibele nasengibele ebhasini ngikhuluma nabantu badle babhizi bangikhulumisa bangentisa ini, uyakubona nje mentally it becomes a lot. So we need to get to a point where the service package is available in all our health facilities. So wherever Eswatini corner, within an 8 kilometers radius, they can be able to access a service package, which includes the services that we're talking about.
So moving forward, I guess, we're towards the end of our very lovely conversation and informative. Moving forward, what do you guys plan on doing to try and basically get into the next gear to take up the speed and really get people more informed about safe abortions, and also encourage our government and so forth, one-stop shop and all of those things. What are your current plans moving forward, and what can you expect from SAfAIDS projects from you guys that we can also probably assist with? Look out for as well.
We will be doing some more advocacy. We're targeting MPs. Our constitution, interesting enough, safe abortion, the conditions where it's allowed, and then one condition later, and in any other circumstance that may be prescribed by Parliament. We see that as an opportunity for Parliament to actually come up with a law that can provide for termination. We see that as an opportunity, which means even in terms of our constitution, if Parliament decides or include the access to safe abortion, whether it's the national health law or just the safe termination law, in terms of it wouldn't be unconstitutional in Eswatini, because we call a law provision like the name, let's say, rape, incest, and in any other circumstance that may be provided by Parliament. So we are continuing to advocate for our Parliament, whether it's the current sitting one, in the next elections next year. We are really calling upon you to do what you need to do. because you have an opportunity to change the course of life for girls in our country. You have an opportunity to do something that hasn't been done before. You can come there and just say, you know what, we'll just keep a status quo, bid our time, and when it's time to go, we go. Or you could actually create a legacy where it's a legacy of saving the lives of Eswatini girls. So we will continue to advocate as Machaka with different messages. You'll also be hearing from us in terms of media, social media, sometimes not so much mass media, because in our country some of our media houses are shying away from the topic. But those that are open to it, we will definitely be there talking about it, because we know some of these things kulula have strong opinions on hey, it shouldn't be done. But naso hleli phansi ubachazela ukuthi you know what, le campaign or lo msebenzi lona awusho ukuthi hamba uyo terminate. Uthi nangabe when you've made a decision to terminate, awube nayo le ndlela to terminate esibhedlela. Ube safe. There's no campaign that we're not creating demand for abortion services. No. Abortion is happening. Noma sikhuluma ngako, noma sikhulumi ngako. We are just saying ukuthi akekele kusikwendeke emva kwendlu. Akuyekele kwenteka ngesungulo, akuyekele kwenteka ngashibhoshi. Uma kaya esibhedlela access service and then kube done safely. So we'll be doing that as well as some activities that will be that school will speak to, that young people will be doing, just on social media engagement and just making sure we're sensitizing our people, because kulula ukuthi si hide behind moral, traditional. On the show that I was on the other time, there was a traditional healer, and he said to me, this whole abortion thing is unswati, and I found that so interesting, because are you aware that termination is not just being offered by the people who are selling pills? Traditional healers also offer termination in this country. Traditional healers. And actually, in the communities where we are working, people will tell us, like traditional healer, and now you're based on imali. If you have imali, keep a paid. Now more, but keep a now more. We admit to even traditional healer, yes. I'm made to keep it. But the service of unsafe abortion is not even when it's happening in town only. Traditional healers are providing it. Lemakaya, they're doing it. Maybe might be the young people selling the pills that they're getting from, but it's a problem that's happening across the country, and that's why we need to educate bonke abantu. From Babelkela past Slata Le, get the dam to a young woman who's at varsity to a 13-year-old, because that's how soon they sometimes need that information.
So, last one. How can people reach you guys? I'll give you that on Skulila.
Okay, before I go there, I also wanted to flag out, Guti, we also hold community dialogues. We have champions in the communities where they just call on their peers and then discuss a certain topic that day. It might be STIs, and this topic is also one of them. So the other thing that we do is that as we refer young people to the facilities, we also notice that some of them do not want to be referred, but they just want to ask one-on-one questions. Mine is so easy, you can easily reach me. I also have a WhatsApp group where we talk about SRH issues there and there. This week I think we'll be talking about drug and substance abuse, but we also put in issues of safe abortion. So us as young people, we often preach out the word to say prevention number one is abstinence.
Yes.
We know that we've been talking about sex ABC, but we are leaving behind the child that just abstains. So prevention measure number one is to abstain and never have sex when you're not ready. So also, if you are sexually active, we also preach that do contracept. We also acknowledge, but towards contraceptives, but it's safer for you to go and access contraceptives. So with regards to safe abortion care services and information, because that's where I come in, I provide the information that is also age appropriate. In our WhatsApp group, we also have got smaller ones and younger ones, and but autonomy, how do you bath, how do you take care of yourself, how do you shy away from peers lava when
Peer pressure.
but we package our information based on the age. But we also know we often say the choice comes in like you engage in sexual practices. Do not be indulged by peer pressure. But you can also join my WhatsApp group. That's also fine. Can I share my
link?
contact details? My personal number is 78184306. It's just easy. 7818.
If ever people need assistance,
someone who like I know someone who knows someone.
So please say that number again,
78184306, and then I'll gladly share the link to our WhatsApp groups. But also, you're welcome to share anything to me. It's either a question or a comment or. But also, they are encouraged and you can even do an advocacy post on your personal Facebook page. And then you can just an advocacy issue. Pushing menstrual hygiene. What's your take on provision of free sanitary pads?
On what?
I know you don't have the answer, but
I probably do, but
menstrual hygiene.
Oh, I have a lot to say about that.
Okay, for the next time.
Yeah.
But those are my numbers, and if you want to call the office, it's 2545 3140.
And the office is actually in Manzini, Machaka building, 4th floor.
It's a beautiful
That's
office
where we
that
are. Yes, and we are also available on social media. You can follow, us on Kingdom of Eswatini SAfAIDS on Facebook, and on Twitter we are Eswatini.
Okay.
What's S?
SAfAIDS.
Oh, S.
Because remember the
Eswatini.
other country offices, so us we are S.
Oh, okay. Also the others are S something else as well.
If you are
it depends.
da-da-da, there has to be the S suffix, and then you are da-da-da.
That
You
country.
can't.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right, no, thanks a lot, guys. Machaka, that was very informative.
Episode and a half.
Yeah, this was very
Please, I
informative.
enjoy doing this.
That's why you said it's a special one.
Yes.
Yes.
What was special one?
Yeah, it's a very
Give me the
special one.
suggestion there.
Oh gosh, yo guys.
Are you pale?
Are
you pale? Okay, this was an episode and a half. I enjoy myself. I enjoy doing this.
Yeah.
That's even enjoyed. I don't know why we are not being involved in that.
Oh yeah, team spirit. Let's all find put a chair all four of us.
You guys, we siyabonga kakhulu. Thank you for tuning in to watch us. Thank you for the subscriptions. Thank you for the likes, for the comments, for the screenshots that they do and then send to us. Thank you for the clips that you send to us. Thank you for all the talk. We appreciate it. Negative or positive, we take everything over here. This was the Salty Mike podcast special episode.
It's a very, very special episode. And before we shut it down, guys, just to touch on something, just touch on something real quick. Social media, can we please stop bullying people that have done abortions? It's too much. It's too much.
Yeah.
It happens a lot. People are always posting, siyakubona bonjanjani. We see, you understand. Know about you. So yeah, please guys, we just really like to encourage everyone that's a salty. What are our people? We still haven't figured out, but everyone that follows our podcast.
That's my
Are they salty people?
But they call
No.
salty people.
They sound so.
We can't call them salty people.
They are called salty people.
Maybe salt carriers.
They'd rather be salty. Because salty is spicy.
But also, yeah, true.
It's flavor.
But yeah, anyways, guys, thanks a lot. That was a very special one. Thank you, Skulile, for your time. Thank you, Mandy, sir, for your time. I almost said Mandy.
Say the surname.
that's-
Say
No,
the
it's okay.
surname.
Say, man.
No, I'm not
Say
saying any
Mandy.
surnames for special people here. I am the number one hater from now. Thank you very much, guys. See you on the next episode. I'm Sam Khumalo, aka DJ Metallic. That's my brother, Sandile Mavuso, aka Machaka.
Also, go out and check out Ikhayalethu Studios.
Yes, shout out to
Even
Khumalo.
for your OnlyFans career, they were going to sort you out. Don't
Yes,
worry.
and of course, our email is saltymike.podcast@gmail.com. Thanks a lot, guys. See you on the next one.
Wanna hear you go.